Hello travelers! Are you having trouble finishing Genshin Impact Spiral Abyss 3.6? Well, I was too. But I finally defeated it and I'm here to share my personal guide and tips with you. First off, I found it surprising that the earlier floors are easier, but it's great because the difficulty is concentrated around floor 12. For me, the most challenging floor was floor 12 Chamber 1, which I'm sure many of you guys can relate to, but after you get through the first floor, it gets easier on the next chambers. For my teams, I decided to run Dendro teams for both the first and second halves because I thought it was the most effective way to go, especially considering that the Abyss's blessing for this Abyss cycle unleashes a shockwave to enemies when your character gets hit and receives damage. Remember though that these are my teams and there are plenty of ways to tackle the Abyss, and my teams are not the only way to solve this. Some of you guys are pretty smart and probably way better than me, so if you have a good and effective team, don't forget to share them in a comment below for others to see. For the first half, I had a 4-piece Tenacity of the Millelith Yao Yao as the support healer, a 2-piece Thundering Fury and Gladiator's Finale Yaimiko for sub DPS, a 4-piece Viridescent Venerer set Kazuha for crowd control, and a 4-piece Gilded Dreams Alhaitham for main DPS. For substitutes, you could probably swap out Miko for Fischl, Kazuha for Venti or Sucrose, and Alhaitham for maybe a Keqing. I would recommend Yao Yao as the healer though, but if you're feeling confident, you can definitely use someone like Nahida or just swap out one of the Electro characters for someone like Kuki Shinobu. For the second team, I used a triple Hydro Blooming Core team with a 4-piece Deepwood Memories Nahida as the main DPS, a 2-piece Tenacity and Vorukash's Glow Nilu as the sub DPS, an Emblem of Severed Fate Xingqiu for armor and supplement Hydro application, and a Maiden Beloved Barbara as the healer and 4 additional Hydro application as well. Triple Hydro teams work really well with Nilu due to the single Dendro damage dealer, ensuring that enemies are almost always wet, so the Dendro damage creates the cores. This makes it very easy to maximize the damage for Dendro cores, as you only really need to build triple EM artifacts on one character, in this case Nahida. Nilu is irreplaceable for this team as this is a Blooming Core team, but you can swap Nahida for any triple EM Dendro applicator like Traveler. You can also swap out Xingqiu with someone like Yelan, or swap out Barbara with someone like Kokomi. These teams work really well to do all the floors actually. The first team's Quicken combo worked out really well, and Kazuha's crowd control really helps pull the enemies together for quick finishes with Alhaitham or Yaimiko's burst. Yao Yao serves as a panic button in case someone gets hurt badly, and it was a very comfortable run for me. The second team proved to be extremely effective with the Abyss blessing. The Hydro Mimics didn't even stand a chance in floor 11. Now let's talk about everyone's stressful level, floor 12 Chamber 1. This floor is extremely annoying due to the fact that Chamber 1's second half has 3 waves that come at you, and consecrated beasts that are a certified annoying enemy, with moves that just straight up displace you and move you off the positioning. So for the first half of the floor, I decided to change my team and found a Raiden Shogun team to be effective. I used an Emblem of Severed Fate Raiden, a Noblesse Oblige Bennett, an Emblem of Severed Fate Xingqiu, and an Emblem of Severed Fate Xiangling. I highly suggest having a lot of Emblem of Severed Fate sets because it is probably the most useful artifact set in Genshin right now. Also, you should avoid using characters that elevate like Xiao, Albedo's Elevator, Kazuha, or Wanderer, as it will cause the Ruin Hunter to fly, giving you a harder time. For the second half, I went with a Freeze team. I used a Ocean-Hued Clam Diona, a Viridescent Venerer Kazuha, a Noblesse Oblige Mona, and a Blizzard Strayer Ayaka. For the first half, my advice would be to stand in the middle of the pack and begin your combo there. They do spawn fairly close, and the combination of Xiangling's Pyronado, Raiden's Elemental Scale, and Xingqiu's Hydro application works really well to shave off all the enemy's HP. As soon as you finish with that, immediately run to the Hydro Consecrated Beast. I suggest you try to kill this one first, since the Dendro will just follow you around anyway. Try to target one enemy at a time. In the second half, there is going to be some luck involved, especially in positioning. I tried to open with a basic combo for the Freeze team by freezing enemies with Diona, then swirling it with Kazuha with a quick follow-up from Mona to freeze them in place. Once they are unable to move, unleash your Ayaka to kill them all in one sweeping combo. This can again have some luck involved, especially with the Samurai, as you have to kill them both at the same time to prevent them from healing. Once that is done, move to the next Consecrated Beast. I tried to attack the Dendro one this time, as the Electro Scorpion has that one move where he jumps at you, so it will come close, so you won't have to chase it. With a bit of luck, I was able to position them accordingly and freeze them in place to finish them off. And that's pretty much how I did it. I actually kind of like this one despite being harder because the bosses didn't do any funky stuff like digging under the ground or flying up where you can't reach them like the Wolf Lord. The last floor with the Magokenki was surprisingly easy to finish with the Nilou Bloom team, and I'll be looking into other ways to quickly finish this Abyss since we are getting the same set of monsters when the next banner comes along. That's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to follow and subscribe for more Genshin videos.